somewhere in the comparison to July 4th in the USA. This is the anniversary, I think, 1,000 years of Christian kings, and Stefan was the first Christian king of Hungary. It is also the celebration of the baking of what is called the new bread, which means that the first bread from the wheat of this year's harvest will be baked. And they also have, like a cake of Hungary to celebrate the birthday of Hungary. And they also have the bread of Hungary. Now, before, the official bread of Hungary was baked from wheat from all over the country, from different, farms and fields, to simplify the unification of Hungary, which was no small feat. There were a bunch of tribes, nomad tribes, Hungarians. They were not called Hungarians. Actually, I don't know what they were called. They were nomad people, excellent horsemen, and excellent with the bow and arrow. But they have learned that in order to survive with all these attacks from all the other tribes, it behooves them to make a pact. This was a blood pact, and these are completely different people. They have never met the American Indians, and they did make a blood pact. They cut a little hole on the wrist, and into a cup, each tribe leader put a little bit of blood, and from what I have read, I am not sure if this is true, they mix it with the wine, and then they would each take a sip of it, which unified them as, yes, you are right, as blood brothers. And you do not attack your brother, especially if they're your blood. You don't attack blood. You don't shed your own family's blood. I don't know how else to explain it. And this is what made them strong. In Hungary, in this territory, they have found fresh water, lots of it, important for the survival of a civilization. Forests that had plenty of game in them. Now at that time, they were not farmers, they were nomads. So they had animals, horses and sheep and cattle, I presume goats, Of course, their most valued possession was, of course, the horse and their bow and arrow, which they were extremely expert in that. So this is sort of very roughly how this nation of Hungary came about. And then, of course, we were mixed with surrounding nations. And then, of course, Hungary was occupied by many different nations, the Romans, the Ottoman Empire, and of course we had our wonderful Russian neighbors, and everybody seemed to like to stay here longer than we would prefer to have them stay here. The soil of Hungary proved to be very fertile. So for a long time, we were the breadbasket, let's say, of Russia. We exported a lot of the wheat and the bread, and we have many items to export. Hungary is able to be self-sufficient. We did not have any food shortages or anything like that. I would say the standard of living is a comfortable middle class. If you work and if you work hard, you can achieve the basics. It's relative to what you call being rich. I call being rich having no debts, having all my bills paid, healthy food on the table, proper clothing for the temperature, you know, look nice. Excuse me. A comfortable home, proper medical care. So really, I would say things are very good. Of course, we had our hard times, just like everybody else here in Europe. This is Eastern Europe, you know. This is a tiny little nation, 10 million people. And as much as we were overrun by outsiders, they were not able to destroy us. Mainly they wanted to destroy our language, which is very unique. None of the surrounding nations do we have anything in common with. So they usually say Hungary is like an island in the middle of Eastern Europe. Well, of course, we don't have any seas or anything. We have lakes and rivers, and we have fantastic hot springs and hot spring spas, which brings lots of visitors. And as I have told you many times, this hot spring is prescribed by a doctor for problems such as arthritis, for many different problems. Actually, what they do is they test each of the hot spring and see which minerals are prevalent. And of course, then according to the minerals, there's a hot spring mineral baths that are the strongest. They are prescribed for the ailment. Let's say if you have a stubborn infection, or after a major surgery, it would be prescribed a hot spring high in sulfur, you know, because of the ability of sulfur to kill the nasty little things. Of course, excellent for people like myself and the majority of us, you know, whose backs are killing them. Excellent exercise for the spine. Actually, this says exercise for the spine, but you really can't do much with the spine. Actually, what you are doing is strengthening the muscles that support your spine. And this helps prevent the condition to deteriorate. Sometimes I can't speak English. To an extent that you might need surgery, then you will not need surgery. Now, they thought that I had a dislocated disc, you know, hitting a nerve. Yeah, I know, you're going, ouch. Yeah, exactly, folks. It took me about a year of walking with the Nordic sticks, which means that instead of hunching over from the pain and causing more damage to the spine, I learned to straighten up nice and slowly, and you're doing what is called X training. So you are actually exercising muscles that you would not normally move around just by regular walking. Yeah, I know. At first I thought too, they're totally ridiculous. What is 2 sticks going to do with the pain, you know? Well, folks, it works. Of course, you have to buy. Well, the walking sticks are not, doesn't have to be, you know, the most expensive. As long as they can support your weight, because it does help when you straighten out, and it helps when you're feeling wobbly, not too sure about your steps. It helps to keep you balanced, and as I said, I stop quite a few times during my walk, straighten out myself. You know, we're not going to shuffle, we're not going to pull our feet, we're going to stand up nice and straight, straighten out our spine, take a deep breath, and you start with the opposite foot from your arm. This is why it is called X training. Actually, the letter X is what you're doing, you know. Like with the left foot, you pour the right, with the right arm, you put the stick forward. So just imagine the letter X. And it worked wonders. Now, since we had a little no-no, I did slack on the amount of walking I did, and I am feeling the negative consequences of that. So, okay, what you do is you start wherever you are able to start. If you are not able, then you start right at the beginning. Little walks, rest. Little walk, rest. And believe me, you will notice the improvement, and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't think it was going to work. And you will also notice that the pain gets less, which means we can reduce the amount of pain pills. Thank God I didn't get to the point where my pain medication causes me to be dependent on them, except for one, but I'm taking the lowest dosage of that. And an anti-inflammatory drug is something like aspirin. So I was very lucky that when I was vacationing in my birth city, it was brought to my attention that there is a much better way of treating my problems with the spine than swallowing a handful of pills, which actually, you know, doesn't make the pain go away. It just reduces it to the extent that I can actually walk. Yes, that's how bad it was. The solution in one of the hospitals was they would put me in the wheelchair. You know, they said, okay, you just sit there and you wait to die. It's okay, you know, this is what we do. And I said, really? So I was in a room, you know, in a private room. I confiscated a walker. The nurses didn't see that. And I started getting up from the wheelchair, you know, just standing up. I had the physical therapist come every day, twice a day, you know, they would do exercises in the bed. Nice and slow, let's move these muscles around, you know, let's get them rested and then move them around. And after about a week, I was like, okay, you can move these muscles around, but I am able to stand up. But I didn't tell them. I think it took me about 10 days. And, they would bring, in Hungry we eat 5 times a day, 3 main meals and 2 snacks. So at the noon is the main meal. And I went to the dining room. It was about, let's say, 5 rooms down the hall, with the dining room. When you are feeling better, or you can in your wheelchair or with your walker or whatever, you are encouraged to sit at a table. It's for 4 people to a table, to have a nice sociable meal, rather than being just locked up in your room. These were, of course, private rooms. So I took my little walker. By that time, I was walking around in my room, and I parked myself at the table that belonged to my room number. And the nurse, was serving the dinner, the main meal at noon. And she didn't really notice at first, what was going on. She just served everybody at the table. And then she said, well, she's going to take the meals to the people in the rooms. And she went to my room. It still didn't catch on, I guess I'm sort of invisible. And she comes running out. She goes, we have a patient missing. And I sort of, quietly raised my hand, like a naughty little girl that snuck out, when you weren't supposed to. I said, excuse me, are you looking for me? And she goes, how did you get out of that room? You don't have the wheelchairs in your room. I said, I walked. She goes, but you can't walk. I go, well, evidently I didn't fly, so I guess I can walk. She goes, how did you do that? I go, well, with a lot of pain, tears, ouch, oh, oh God, oh please. The usual routine, little by little. So this is my point. Little by little. If you want miracles, I don't think that works when when we're talking about your spine. And that's when I learned that there's not much we can do with the spine. I mean, you can't exercise the spine. It's not true. I mean, just think about it. So what we're doing is building up the muscle tone to support the spine, which prevents further injury to an already weak spine. Now, sometimes you do need surgery, especially if it's a nerve or something, or you can repair some damage that wasn't. I'm not against surgery. I had gallbladder surgery, the old-fashioned kind, the kind from one side of the stomach to the other. They didn't have the belly button surgery then. And I definitely would do it over again, since then absolutely no problem. My diet was never restricted. So they took out the stones and the gallbladder that was being naughty. And that was the end of that. But I did get scared, when they parked me in that wheelchair. I said, well, okay, so if it comes to that, then I get used to that and learn to live, the person in a chair. But when I started to notice that I am able to stand up, and I figured if I am able to stand up, then I am able to walk little by little. Little by little. And for me, that was the most difficult because I'm a very impatient person. When I want something, I want it now. And, yesterday was too late for what I'm about to get tomorrow. very impatient. And, like, I don't have time to be sick. I don't have time to be sitting around in a wheelchair. And I kept on telling the doctor, if I can stand up, why can't I walk? And he says, well, because, wear and tear on the spine, and because of the bad posture, because of the pain, and he gave a big explanation. I said, okay, well, that's wonderful, but I would like to walk. And he says, do you feel your legs? I go, well, of course I feel my legs. I have cramps like you wouldn't believe in them, You scream. He goes, oh, that's a good sign. I go, oh, really? That's a good sign? Okay, well, let's see what other good signs we can produce. So this is what I'm saying, that a combination of treatments. Of course, I do not say go only to the hot spring health spa. No, in cooperation with the doctor that's handling your problem. Because for some people it is not recommended because the water is very strong. So you have to take into consideration, like, do you have a heart condition? Do you have high blood pressure? It doesn't mean that you are not able to go, but you must adapt the spa experience to your health. Each spa has their doctor and a nurse and a sick room, just in case. Children under the age of 14 are not allowed to go in the water because it is too strong for their young little bodies, It's difficult for older people to understand that. I'm sure it feels wonderful to sit in the hot water, especially, when you're in the bubbly bath and all of that, and you're feeling real good. But you have to remember that it is strong, and if the doctor tells you do not take a cold shower after the hot spa, then just take a tepid one like the doctor tells you, because it's too much of a shock to your body. The best is to have a cold shower after the hot spring soak. It gets your blood circulation going. So there's many benefits. And unfortunately, with this little naughty thingy that we had going around, they sold a section, the indoor section of the spa. So I don't know when the new owner, because I'm sure they want to make great improvements to attract more of the international patients, tourists. They're not little tourists, they're all there to get to feeling better. But they also built some apartment houses, like cabins, but they're like apartments, They're heated in the winter. They're heated with the hot water from the hot spring. So it's actually, free heat. And there's a restaurant, actually another one opened across the street from it, to serve the people that are staying there. Usually they recommend a 3-week stay to be the most effective. And all of them came with the same opinion, with the same feedback that, yes, it made a big difference in their health. I was as skeptical as they were. I couldn't believe it at first either. I mean, you gotta be kidding. Why doesn't it work when I sit in my bathtub? It's like, why not? I said, no, it's not the same. Okay, fine, take your word for it. Okay, now this, I don't think this makes sense because it's supposed to be blue, but, number 8 is not blue. Do I have a B? That's a number 4. I think it would be that one. See, sometimes you have to double guess. Well, you know, my eyes are not that great, even though I have glasses on, but they're reading glasses because I had my eye examined and they said I don't need, what is it called, bifocals? Yeah, they said I don't need that. Mainly for reading I need, and you know, for working on diamond painting, but I do have my magnifying glass. However, this is a very nice canvas. I didn't need it, and it's a very relaxing canvas. Now on Monday I'm supposed to get a shipment, so we're going to have unboxing. Now I am not going to promise to you because I never know when, you know, the delivery person decides to fall down the stairs and get over you. His newest thing is, could you please come down to the lobby? I'm not going to go up to the first floor. I go, oh dear me. I mean, how old are you, 20 or something? You can't climb up, you know, 3-4 stairs? I guess they get tired. I said, yeah, okay, I'll go downstairs. He goes, I'll wait for you. I go, okay. Before he used to come, you know, and if I wasn't home, then he would leave the package by my door because it is a secure apartment house. I mean, nobody's going to steal diamond painting. But now he doesn't feel like coming up the stairs. I can understand, you know, when they have this electric products, you know, like TVs and computers and all of that, they don't want to leave the truck unattended because I am on Main Street. So they don't want to leave the truck unlocked and unattended. Okay, then I can understand that. But, and anyway, I told him there's a great big mailbox on the outside that closes with a key. So I told him you can just stick the package in there. It's perfectly okay. You know, like I said, it's a very secure apartment, and that solves the problem of me having to sit around and wait for delivery, which I'm sure you know the story. I'm sure you don't enjoy that either, when you wait and you wait and you wait, and sometimes they don't come, and you're like, my whole day went waiting. But lately they're pretty good about keeping to the schedule. But you have to remember, this is a small country, and they are short-handed. Because work is a lot, and the pay is not according to Western standards. But most of these delivery people love their job. Seriously. Okay, now we need some sort of a green over here. There's a green in a seashell. That's a number 16. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, khaki? No. No. Looks brown. Okay. I can imagine brown in a seashell. Not quite this dark, but we will see, because until we put these colors together and then I step it back, and that's when I can give a more rational opinion as to how this canvas looks. Because when I'm this close to it, it doesn't really show me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to get 4-placer, but my 4-placer turned into a 3-placer, which means I should probably fill it up with wax. Always one of them keeps on giving me a hard time over here. I think it's a cute little picture. We have been making such big ones lately, so I figured we should do some. Oh, I know which one's coming on Monday. Angry Birds. Oh, that was so cute. Seriously. I'm not really into Angry Birds, but that was such a cute little canvas. I said, yeah, let's do that. We haven't done any like that, so I think it would be a nice change. Sometimes you need to do that. The other canvas is called a Matthew Himsesh. That's a type of embroidery that's done here in Hungary. It's on a black background and with colorful flowers. It's a specific kind of embroidery that is done in Hungary, and they use it on clothes as well as decorative covers for furniture, pillowcases, even on a wall. You know, instead of wallpaper, they have this painting on it. You will see. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. And I also was, you know, thinking that it is something different than the usual diamond painting that everybody else is doing. So this is from a Hungarian company, doing some of the historical and tourist places. We already did 2 of those, and they thought it would be wonderful to show the world our embroidery. Actually, I saw this type of embroidery in other nations also, but none of them made exactly this way. Much for Himsesh is usually done on a black or white background. Majority of them is black. In some of the regions of Hungary, in the national dress, they had black bride wedding dresses, which I thought was rather weird. And in some of the places, they had the white dresses, but they had it with black shoes. And they said it was a matter of being practical. I mean, after the wedding, nobody's going to wear the white shoes. So they would have a black shoe with the white wedding dress, and then the black shoe would be their dress-up shoes, you know, that they would wear to go to church. You know, their special outfits, dress-up Sunday outfits to go to church in. And you can tell by the dress of the girl whether she is single, engaged, a young mother. So there are different colors and different dresses. Just by looking at them, you can tell what stage of her life she is in. Well, of course, nowadays, you know, it's sort of modern dress, jeans and a t-shirt and, you know, what have you. This year, I was very surprised. I saw a lot of shorts. This was not usual for, yeah, okay, the young girls, but I've seen married women middle-aged women, what have you, wearing shorts. Of course, we had heat waves like you wouldn't believe. But I was rather surprised. So I bought myself a pair of jean shorts. But it does cover all of my body. So none of my behind is hanging out from the short. And they're stretched jeans, so it was very comfortable. And especially when I go for my 3-kilometer hikes, you know, I put on my Nike running shoes and my shorts and a t-shirt, plug my ears, a good walking music, and off I go. Sometimes nice and slow, sometimes a little faster. Majority of the time I start out slow, and after I warm up, I give it a little bit of speed. But it's not speed walking. The idea is to move. Sometimes it's very easy, sometimes it's harder. Take it in stride. So how do you like our seashells? I do apologize. I have a problem trying to put cream on my face. I really seem to like it. I mean, this cream I have been using ever since I've been in Hungary. And would you believe my mother used it? In the old days, you know, before we became so modern, this was a basic cream. Even for babies, they would be using this. It's very good, very inexpensive and very good quality. And I think it works wonderful as far as moisturizing. And I did get I got sunburn. I mean, roasted. And the majority of it was on my forehead and the tip of my nose. So I need to lavishly cream it. Yeah, yesterday I went furniture shopping, can you imagine? With, you know, a layer of cream slathered all over my face because the sun was shining, and not only did I have to moisturize it, but protect it from getting any more sun, because that's the last thing my skin needs at the moment. Every year I get a sunburn. Every year. I don't get tanned, I just get red. You would think by now I would get a little bit of tan. No. That's just wishful thinking, you know, it's not going to happen. Okay. I noticed that lately I'm a little bit tired. Really, ever since I had that problem when I was overheated and the ambulance had to bring me home because I refused to go to the hospital, it seems like I have to be very careful about going out in the sun. I wonder if the blood pressure pills had anything to do with it. Some of the ladies we were talking in the spa, according to them, if you are taking this medicine for blood pressure, you should really avoid going in. Well, I don't go and lay down in the sun, you know, to suntan. I know better than to do that. But you know, just walking outside, and it is a 3-kilometer walk. Now it does take a while. And actually the the rays were very strong. And like I said, my skin is extremely sensitive to whatever I put on it. So there was only so much sunscreen I could put on. And as usual, I got red as a lobster. But really, the majority was on my forehead. But I felt that on the way home, the sun was still shining, and I could actually feel my forehead and the tip of my nose burning. Nothing else was burning. There we go. Well, I guess the seashell has brown in it. Now, I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out, how these colors because I didn't see that color, when I ordered this canvas. Okay, duck. What is that now? Oh, that's right, they're going to be putting out the flags, and they're going to be positioning the ammunition for the fireworks for tomorrow night. Over here by the park, we made videos there already. You're a little bit familiar with where I live, the neighborhood. You've seen it quite a few times. Okay. In the meantime, I'm recharging my blender. I really love it. No problem with it. And once I will have oral surgery, I'm going to have to make smoothies and whatever until I'm able to eat again. Hopefully I lose a few pounds. Thank you very much for spending time with me this afternoon. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. And I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Maybe from home, maybe from the spa, maybe from the village. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.